And we're back. Sorry this is getting kind of long. I just do want to give you plenty of things to think through so that you can apply it to your own videos, which should not be 10 minutes long, or they should be 10 minutes long max. But anyway, continuing on. So in the last video, the point that I was making was that even in my Facebook profile, which is very different than my Twitter presence, or my Facebook presence, which is different than my Twitter presence, we've got some issues that I could talk about with authenticity. I mostly am either tagged in posts by my mom or I share pictures of my life here in Luxembourg, but there's a lot that I don't share. Does that make the posts inauthentic? And a lot of what I'm seeing in terms of students discussing authenticity is that, well, it's not fake, so it's authentic. And that is not enough. Just because something is not fake does not necessarily mean it's authentic, especially according to the different videos that we've watched about authenticity. And so things that I might talk about from those videos in terms of my video is that, Dan Olson talks about with the videos, with vlogs, people still make edits. Lindsay Ellis talks about choosing to put something online versus not put something online, and making choices in order to cultivate a particular identity of authenticity. The choices that I make to put on my Facebook video or to put on my Facebook are to cultivate an image of someone who loves their family and interacts with their family on Facebook, and someone who is enjoying living in Europe. And for the most part, I do, but there are also parts of it that are frustrating, as I said before. But the image that I want to cultivate is the happy one, because I like being positive on social media. I don't necessarily think people who are negative on social media are doing the wrong thing with social media. I think you should roll that back. I think there are many valid ways to use social media. There are also many not valid ways to use social media, such as harassment. But that's not what this video is about. Anyway, if I'm doing my analysis on my Facebook profile, I might bring in those issues of identity and choice, and talk about authenticity and really pick apart what it means to be authentic and whether I'm being authentic or not authentic, or what authentic even means. Or here's one, whether or not authenticity should be something that we apply to social media. Because when you think about it, again, everything is a choice. I'm choosing to include things. I'm choosing to not include things. And so what does that even mean for the idea of authenticity? And why do we apply that to social media? You can go back to Lindsay Ellis to find an answer for that, and it has to do with the historicity of YouTube and social media as a platform. But I'm not going to give you that answer in this video because that's something I want you to think through for yourselves. Okay, so let's carry on to Instagram and YouTube. Let's pop over to YouTube really quickly because I think it's pretty funny. So first of all, this is my channel, which you can go to if you so desire, the Dr. Ashley Clayson channel. Let's go to home. It says this channel doesn't have any content. Yes, it does. But I haven't chosen to put anything on my channel homepage. So it's like, oh, what's this channel? And that's because this channel is just for the videos that I make for the classes that I teach online. I don't necessarily want to have a huge YouTube following. I'm not trying to be a Lindsay Ellis or an Ollie Thorne or a Dan Olson. I just want y'all to be able to see my face when I'm talking to you, and to teach you through this platform. So you can see all these videos. They mostly look very similar, but you can see all of the videos that I've uploaded from previous semesters as well. But again, this is all just one aspect of my identity as a teacher. I look more professional in some videos than I look in others, but again, this is all me presenting, my professional teachery side. And like nothing else. So again, going back to that idea of fractured identity, this YouTube channel is just the one one fractured part off of that identity. Twitter is a different thing, and Twitter is different from Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. Let's check out my Instagram. Instagram is mostly pictures of stuff around town. This adorable, I don't know if it's a stray cat or if it just doesn't have a collar, but it likes to visit our backyard sometimes, and it's adorable. Again, some of these are posts that are also on Facebook because I have my Facebook and Instagram linked. Some nerd stuff, some more nerd stuff. This is Dungeons and Dragons. It's trying to be Dungeons and Dragons. I watched an old movie. I watched a different old movie. Food, lots of food, some selfies, some additional selfies of unpacking my home. So there's a lot of posts about, settling into Luxembourg, new foods, new beers, books that I've read or am reading, selfie, food. If you watch Agretzko on Netflix, the Instagram pattern, I don't quite have that same Instagram pattern. What is it she says? Selfie, thigh pic, dessert shot. I don't have that, but there's some patterns here. So anyway, you can also tell my hair is super short here and it's a lot longer now. These are old pictures. I guess is that just from Halloween? No, that's from the summer. This is a closet cosplay of Kiki's Delivery Service. Anyway, so don't update it very frequently. I mostly use Instagram to lurk, as I do with a lot of my other platforms as well. I mostly lurk on Facebook. I mostly lurk on Twitter. I mostly lurk on YouTube. I don't post a lot of hashtag original content. But when I do, it's, pictures of my life. Maybe I make a funny joke every now and again and then get really sad when it doesn't go viral. But that's my Instagram. Mostly things that also then show up on Facebook. And again, mostly pictures of my life and or pictures of food. So again, the two big things that I could choose to explore in an identity analysis about me are this idea of fractured identity, the fact that I present different selves in different social media platforms. That would be something that I would heavily bring in the text from Dr. Sherry Turkle, The Identity in the Age of the Internet. Or I could talk about authenticity and talk about choosing to include and choosing not to include, and whether that makes me authentic or inauthentic, and what authentic and inauthentic even means, and why we hold authenticity as a value for social media. Those are two different tracks that I could go down. Probably a good idea would be to go down one or the other. But you'll notice that, again, let's go back to the very beginning. And what I said was I would say I make a claim and then I back it up with evidence. If the claim is I have a fractured identity online, I would back that up by demonstrating here are the type of posts and here's how I represent myself on Twitter. Here's how I represent myself on Facebook. Here's how I represent myself on Instagram. Here's how I represent myself on YouTube. And those will all be claims or evidence to support that claim. And I would also bring in the readings from Dr. Sherry Turkle to support that claim as well. If I'm going to talk about authenticity and inauthenticity, I would say, here are the choices that I make to include about myself on a platform or a couple of different platforms. And then I would say, here's what I don't choose to include. And then I would bring in different quotes from the Lindsay Ellis video, the Dan Olson video, the Ollie Thorne video. And I would weave those in together with what I'm saying about authenticity and my authenticity or inauthenticity. That's what I'm looking for when I say identity analysis. And those things have to be present. You have to make a claim, and then you have to support that claim with specific evidence. So I would pull up specific posts. For example, maybe coming over to Twitter if we're talking about how I represent myself on Twitter. Okay, here's the funny tweet about that I made some jokes about my husband, with my husband. Here's a tweet about the student stuff that I think is positive and funny. Here's a tweet about LGBTQ issues. Here's a tweet about labor issues. So then those would be specific examples. Those are two big things. Claims, evidence with specific examples, bring stuff in from the readings. And I'm going to stop this video because we're getting real long here. So email me with questions. And I'm looking forward to seeing